Good evening. I'd like to call to order the School Board of Seminole County School Board meeting for September 13th, 2016. And unfortunately, I have to start this meeting again with some additional sad news. We lost another Seminole County Public Schools family member this past week. This past Saturday morning, Lake Mary High School's very own Lisa Hollingsworth Rush passed away after a long and hard-fought battle with cancer. Lisa has worked for our school district for 38 years. She originally started at Tuscaloosa Middle School as a media specialist in August of 1978. Then in 1993, she arrived at Lake Mary High School, where she assumed the responsibility of being a media specialist before retiring again last spring. Lisa leaves behind a beautiful family of 2 children, daughter Kate Keeley and son Skylar, who were both Lake Mary High School grads in 2005 and 2008, respectively. Lisa has a lovely granddaughter, Kensley, and her daughter is pregnant with grandbaby number 2, which will be a boy who will be born in November. If you'd all please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. And now I'd like to turn the meeting over for our invocation and pledge of allegiance led by some very special friends.
Good evening, school board members and public. I'd like to introduce to you for our invocation tonight 2 very special guests that we have with us tonight. From Parton Elementary, we have 2 pre-K students, Sophia Hassan and Eli Kang, who will be leading us in our pledge and doing our invocation. And along with them, I'd like to introduce Dr. Annalyn Jones, who is the director of our VPK program, and Dr. Carol Crownover, who works with curriculum for VPK.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That was good. Thank you. We are so proud of you, and this is to let you know we always say the Pledge of Allegiance every day in Seminole County Public Schools, and we challenge everybody in America to join us. But we have a little gift. Sorry. Let the record reflect that all school board members are in attendance, in addition with our legal counsel and superintendent. There is a business advisory board representative to be recognized, Sean Eisler. Sean, where are you? Thank you for being here and for all your service to our school district. And Dr. Griffin, do you have any agenda modifications?
Just one. The addendum for good cause is marked on our electronic agenda by a green flag named addendum item.
Thank you. And school board members, do you have any items for removal or clarifying questions? Member Bauer?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Vice Chairman Lockhart?
None, thank you.
Member Almond?
No, ma'am.
Member Schaffner?
None, thank you.
And I don't either. This might be a shorter meeting than we thought. Thank you so much. Is there a motion for approval of the outline?
So moved. Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Dr. Griffin, I know we have some presentations.
Yes, we do. Please join me up front.
I'm gonna assume I'm not supposed to use these.
Oh. That was for the pre-K students. Get down with it.
It does feel good though.
Oh, you're an accident waiting to happen.
Risk management didn't like me going on that. Dr. Griffin and board members, I have some special recognitions. Tonight, I'm proud to recognize a senior from Seminole High School, and wait till you hear what I read about this young man. If I could have him come forward, Mr. Jimmy Chin, come forward, please, and listen to these accolades. Jimmy is a silver medalist in the International Physics Olympiad, which was held in Zurich, Switzerland. Last year, he was also recognized as one of 2 students in the world with perfect scores in the Advanced Placement Physics C Electricity and Magnetism exam. He also earned first place in the Princeton University Physics Competition and gold, silver, and bronze medals at the U.S. Physics Olympiad. I don't think he let other people win. How can you win the gold, silver, and bronze medal? He is a senior in our IB program at Seminole, currently holds a 4.839 grade point average, is ranked first in the class. I would hope so. He will complete 16 advanced placement courses and 11 IB courses by the end of this year. He's earned a perfect PSAT score on the 10th grade PSAT, scored a 2380 on the regular SAT, and perfect scores on SAT 2, math, physics, and chemistry. He's president of the Science Club, earned first place school team in Regional Science Olympiad, serves as a coordinator for the Central Florida Region Science Olympiad, a member of the Florida Student Association of Mathematics. He has been in the youth orchestra for several years, and listen to this, he's the principal cellist, has performed in Carnegie Hall, Amsterdam, Copenhagen, and Prague, and he looks forward to exploring economics. He enjoys reading The New Yorker and The Economist. Wow. With him tonight, and they're already standing, are his mom, Jing Liu, Principal Dr. Connie Collins, and Assistant Principal Dr. Orvie Mizell. Jimmy, you should have been standing on this high platform over here. Absolutely amazing. Another very special presentation. The Lyman Army Junior ROTC Greyhounds Battalion. If I could have retired Lieutenant Colonel Dan Clark come forward at the beginning. The ROTC Leadership Academy Bowl, J-Lab, National Championship is held each June in Washington, D.C. 1,740 Army ROTC teams competed online. Over 500 teams scored enough to ascend to round 2, and the 24 finalists competed in Washington, D.C. The competition is a 4-quarter series based on ACT, SAT questions selected from the National Academic Quiz Tournament's question bank. Lyman went 9-0 in the preliminary rounds and 3-0 in the playoffs to post a 12-0 record. Lyman won the 2016 Army Academic Bowl National Championship, plus was voted by the finalists for teams to receive the Esprit de Corps Award, and they are a top J-Lab team in the state of Florida for the second straight year. Let's bring up the cadets. First, Cadet Major Anthony Del Plazio. Cadet Major Jordan Franks, also team captain. Cadet Sergeant First Class Angelica Sharkey. Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Joshua Toth. Also, their parents are in attendance, if they would please stand, and their principal, Mr. Mike Rice. And I believe the Lieutenant Colonel has a special presentation also. Lieutenant Colonel?
In addition to the many awards they got while they were in Washington, D.C., we also had them engraved Revere bowls made so that they can keep these forever as mementos of the, may have been the first national championship Lyman's ever won at anything. So we're really happy. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm really happy with that. Oh, I'm supposed to be in there?
It's also my privilege to recognize one of our own Seminole County Public Schools employees in a new position as a promotion and for Director of Student Support and School Safety, Mrs. Deirdre Garnes. She is currently entering her 20th year in education, during which she has been a teacher assistant, a teacher of social studies, life skills, and transition services, dean of students, and an assistant principal. She's worked with students in special education programs, as well as alternative education programs, and the Department of Juvenile Justice programs. She's also worked in traditional regular schools. The majority of her experience has been working directly with student populations and at-risk students. She's excited to begin her 10th years at Seminole County Public Schools. And with her today, if they would please stand, are her oldest daughter, Rebecca Garnes, and her mother, Arlene Parker. Deirdre Garnes.
Dr. Griffin and school board members, I'm here tonight for Dr. Wyndham, who's unable to be here. And I'm very happy to introduce the newest assistant principal in middle school, and that is Nicholas Pavguzis. I had the pleasure of working with Nick when I worked with middle school leaders. Nick is a proud alumni of Seminole High School and studied social studies, science education for his undergraduate degree at UCF, and he continued at UCF to achieve his master's degree in educational leadership. With him tonight is his wife Jessica, his mom Diana, and father Jimmy, and grandmother Marian Farella, and also his principal Randy Schuler. Congratulations, Nick, and why don't you have your family stand and be recognized.
Good evening, school board members and Dr. Griffin. It is my pleasure to introduce to you someone that you already know, which is Patrick Kelly. So Patrick, if you could come on up. Patrick Kelly is going to be joining the Department of Teaching and Learning as well as Information Services, where he currently works, but he will be transitioning to the role of Manager of Digital and Blended Curriculum Implementation and Support. His first responsibility is to memorize that title. After his graduation from UCF with a degree in mathematics education, Patrick started his career in 1995. In 1995, he became an ed tech facilitator at Lyman High School under the guidance of Dr. Ann Kohler. After 2 years, he transitioned into the network specialist role and remained in that role until 1999. In 1999, Patrick came to the Educational Support Center to work in the instructional technology integration process and working on all of our technology software integrations. And he will continue to work in that capacity as well as also revising and refining all of our media centers. So welcome to Patrick. Also with him tonight are his wife, and if they would stand, his wife Sean Kelly, his daughter Emma Kelly, and his son Evan Kelly.
Good evening, Dr. Griffin and board members. It's my privilege tonight to present to you our new Director of Leadership Pathways, Dr. Heidi Gooch. You all know Dr. Gooch. Heidi has been with Seminole County Public Schools since 1992, where she started as an English teacher and was department chair. From there, she went on to become the assistant principal at Heathrow Elementary from 2001 to 2007. Then principal of Redbug from 2007 to 2012, and since 2012 out at Heathrow Elementary. We're very pleased to have Heidi join our team, and we know she'll do a phenomenal job following in the footsteps of Beth Sharp. Oh, with Heidi tonight are her husband, Frank, and her daughter, Anna. There you go.
Oh, you're going to miss the good stuff. Congratulations again to all of you. We're so very proud. Dr. Weissong, I'd like to call you to the front for our focus on student achievement, please. I'm going to take a picture from here to kids.
Come out nice.
Awesome.
You've brought the brightest tonight, I can tell.
There we go.
Make sure that the mics on the dais are on.
Are all the mics on the
Connected
dais
to the
on?
mics on the floor.
Yes, ma'am. I'm very fortunate tonight to have 6 great co-presenters, so look forward to introducing them to you. Dr. Griffin and board members, thank you for the opportunity to update you on the status of our ePathways brand. As you're aware, this is the 3rd year of implementation of the ePathways business plan that was created by the ePathways Visioning Committee in the 13-14 school year. And we've certainly been very busy these past 3 years implementing new initiatives and programs and opportunities for students. And we have a lot to be proud of and, of course, a lot of work still to go. So I'm excited to have the opportunity tonight to recap where we currently stand, and then you're going to hear from 6 students who will share with you the impact of your vision, leadership, and support of ePathways. So I'm very grateful for the students who are here tonight. Just as a reminder of the focus that Dr. Griffin established with ePathways, our work centers on 2 concepts. The first is customized learning, providing lots of different opportunities for students that are interesting and engaging to them, with the goal of assuring that at the end of their pre-K through 12 education life cycle with Seminole County Public Schools, that we hand them a meaningful diploma on graduation day and that they are ready to go off into the world, college, career, and citizenship ready. That is our goal. At the end of the road, wherever it takes us, we hope that all students in the district have an education pathway both during their time here and after graduation, and of course, by extension, that all adults connected to the school system, whether they be our employees, our parents, or our business and community leaders, support pathways planning for students, which we know is so important from the perspective of economic prosperity in our community. So that is the focus of our work. Just to recap where we've been, I think you'll see that there have been themes to the work thus far. When ePathways first began, the focus was flexible scheduling, primarily through hybrid schedules connected to Seminole County Virtual School. And in fact, initially when ePathways rolled out, there were people who thought that the E stood for electronic, not educational. And we started there because virtual was ready to provide those differentiated learning opportunities. And I'll share some data with you in the next couple of slides. Recently, while continuing to build our virtual program, we've focused on program development, specifically those programs in middle and high schools that are career and technical education focused. And again, those are not programs that necessarily go straight to career. Most of them are college and career. This notion of both together and maybe not necessarily in that order. We've also developed and implemented the programs of enrichment at elementary, exploration at middle, and continued with the programs of emphasis at high school that Dr. Griffin began when he was executive director. So those pieces are coming into place and will continue to be a focus of our work, along with the Workplace Learning Initiative to do more internships and job shadowing for our high school students. Moving forward, my team and I and our many ambassadors out in the schools are focused on this notion of college and careers contemporaneously, and I'll share some senior exit survey data with you momentarily that drives home the importance of the notion that students really are doing both at the same time, and we've got to adapt to that. We've put into place a robust program planning model for all of our career and tech programs and our POEs so that our programs start looking at 5-year refresh cycles for their programs and projecting out both student enrollment and resource needs in the future. And then, of course, we've begun rolling out our Skills for Future Ready Graduates model that in the long term should transform core instruction in the district. And then finally, with school counselors coming under ePathways this past summer, we'll begin what will be a fairly long journey into Pathways counseling, where we really focus on that notion of interest exploration and connecting interest to programs starting as early as elementary school. So that's kind of the timeline and where we see things going over the next few years. Currently, we have a couple of significant projects in the pipeline, and these certainly aren't all of the programs, but some pieces that we're working on. We have 3 high schools piloting the Naviance College and Career Planning System. That's Crooms Academy of Information Technology, Winter Springs High School, and Seminole High School. So that system is getting up and running. In fact, we had 2 groups of students log in for the first time last week and begin working through the college exploration and application process as seniors. So we'll go through the full year, pilot that initiative, do an evaluation study, and then bring you a recommendation next spring regarding next steps. Computer Science 2020 is moving forward with implementation in 1st and 3rd grades this year, in addition to kindergarten. And later this week, we'll be talking to our elementary principals about getting ready to add 2nd, 4th, and 5th grades in the 17 and 18 school year, which means we'll have our full implementation in elementary. We'll soon begin on the Phase 2 planning for advanced manufacturing. That's our state-of-the-art academy at Lake Mary High School. You all collectively worked very, very hard to bring additional funding from the legislature to Seminole County Public Schools, and we're looking forward to working with our business advisory committee members to define the scope of Phase 2 of that project, which will be both more square footage and more program opportunities in these high-demand, high-wage fields in advanced manufacturing, prototyping, and production. So we're excited to move forward with that project. We also have begun the planning for our 2nd collegiate high school, which will open at Lake Howell next year, leading to an Associate of Arts degree in business with Seminole State College. And so that program was announced last year, and the planning has begun this fall to get that launched next August, with 9th graders coming in and ready to start working toward those dual requirements. And finally, as we've discussed in a prior work session, we're in the research and development stage for a major new program in the 18-19 school year, and we'll continue to update you on that progress. All of that as we continue to lay the groundwork for the skills model and many other projects. And again, we're very proud to partner with Teaching and Learning and Information Services, many other departments, as well as our schools on those projects. Just a very brief review of the quantitative data, and then we're going to get to some qualitative discussion here in a moment. Major metrics that we're tracking are virtual learning participation. As of last week, our enrollment at Seminole County Virtual School, full-time and part-time together, is up 15% this time over last year, which was a 15% growth over the prior year and 25% growth the year before that. So we're continuing to see very high demand for virtual courses, including this year nearly 1,000 Seminole County students who are enrolled in courses that were designed by SCPS teachers as an alternative to the Florida virtual courses that are offered through our franchise. And that brings some great courses and some economic savings to the district as well. We're very excited to be debuting those courses that were written by our own teachers. Industry certification data continues to trend up. We'll share final audited data with you for last year when we have it, but we had over 2,500 industry certifications earned by high schoolers in the district last year, and about another 1,000 digital tool certificates earned by middle schoolers in the first year of iJourney and iConnect. Finally, I want to share some data that's prepared annually by Assessment and Accountability from our senior exit survey. So this is self-report data from our graduates before they walk. And we asked some different questions last year of our graduates in light of the changing economy. First, as always, the good news, our students self-reported more than $61 million in scholarships earned last year, which is just evidence of the outstanding programs across our district. In addition to those questions that we've asked in the past, we also asked about next steps in education. What we saw from our graduating class is about 5% of our graduates are electing to enter the armed forces, another 5% going directly into the workforce, the other 90% reporting a combination of 4-year university enrollment, 2-year state college enrollment, or technical school enrollment. So 9 out of 10 graduates still moving toward that education pathway. But one thing we asked new this year was we asked those students on any of those education pathways what their plans were related to work while they were enrolled in those programs. And we're seeing about 3 out of every 4 of our students moving to post-secondary reporting that they are either going to work part-time or full-time while they pursue that next step, whether it's a certificate or a degree. And so that's something that, again, that notion of college and career contemporaneously, and something that we need to be aware of because our graduates are contributing to the workforce wherever they're headed next, and we need to be sure that they're well prepared. So we'll begin to track that data over time because it's not necessarily a question that we've asked in the past. So I've talked longer than I planned, and I am pleased now to introduce you to 6 of our current students, and they're each going to tell you about the program that they're involved with and where their education pathway is headed based on the studies that they've pursued. So we're going to start with 2 of our elementary school students, both of whom participated in different programs of enrichment at our elementaries. And so we're going to start with Ashley LaFlame from Winter Springs Elementary. She's a 5th grader. Ashley?
Good evening, Dr. Griffin and school board members. My name is Ashley LaFlame. I am a 5th grader at Winter Springs Elementary School. Winter Springs is a STEAM school and has provided me with many opportunities to explore my interests and possible career options. This has definitely influenced my e-pathway. As a student, I love learning, especially about science and technology. At Winter Springs Elementary, I use technology daily and have learned about game design, coding, and have even been a mathlete. Outside of school, my passions are acting and performing. Winter Springs Elementary offers News Crew as a club. As a member of our news crew, I have gained valuable experience with technology behind the camera and in front of it. I have also gained leadership experience as a director on the TV set. This experience has not only enhanced my stage experience, but has opened my eyes to the possibility of a career of a broadcast personality, director, sound engineer, journalist, or even graphic artist. As I look ahead to middle school, I will most likely apply to a school with a pre-IB program. However, I will also base my decision on my interests and to further explore and develop my career interests. Will I continue to focus on my academics? Who says I can't be a great scientist and actress, or news anchor, or even SCPS spokesperson? Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. I'm so
You're welcome.
excited. I'd love to go to Highland.
I love it.
So from my perspective, Ashley has probably 9 or 10 different programs to choose from coming up, and We're so excited that you've had lots of opportunities at Winter Springs Elementary with Dr. Irwin, who is here tonight. Next, I'm going to introduce you to Jaden Baker, who is a 5th grader at Highlands Elementary School. Jaden?
I'm a 5th grader at Highlands Elementary School, and we have a Leader in Me program, and that really influences what I want to do for middle school and what I want to do so far as e-pathway. So in middle school, I'm looking forward to schools that have a lot of clubs, because before I came to Highlands Elementary, I went to a private school, and you do not get as much as an opportunity as you do in middle school, in elementary school.
So as you can see, Jaden is ready to go to middle school. Very prepared.
Congratulations,
at Highlands Elementary. Thank you, Jaden. Next, we're going to turn to our middle school representatives, and you're going to meet one student from one of our new programs of exploration and another student from our outstanding magnet program. So Presley Sachs is a 7th grader at Indian Trails Middle School.
My name is Presley Sachs, and I'm a 7th grade student at Indian Trails Middle School. And Dr. Saleo approached me about sharing my experiences with e-pathways. And at Indian Trails, there's an e-pathways course for 6th graders that is called Renewable Energy. Among other things, students learn about renewable and non-renewable resources, how to conserve energy, and potential careers in the developing energy field. We use different types of technology in the class and participate in fun labs and activities. And one of our assignments was to create a video about a career in energy. And for my video, I went to my mom's office with the Department of the Navy, and I interviewed the energy manager for the base located near UCF. He explained to me that the Navy uses many different alternative energy sources, including nuclear-powered submarines. I learned that Navy bases in foreign countries are energy independent, meaning that they produce all the energy that the bases need to function. Therefore, the Navy and other parts of the federal government have been required by the President to reduce energy consumption because it is so costly. Even in an office building like the one in Central Florida, they have implemented several initiatives to conserve energy. I was shown more than 1,000 solar panels on the roof of the building. This saves the Navy several $1,000s a month. Also, the Navy has installed special toilet handles in the bathroom that are designed to reduce water consumption by 66%. This assignment was my favorite part of the course because I had a lot of freedom to go on my own path with the direction of the video. This year, I'm taking iJourney in 7th grade to further my education on possible potential careers. The more I learn about job opportunities, the better prepared I am for my future.
Very nice, Presley.
Thank you, Presley. Our next student presenter is Divya Srinivasan, and she is an 8th grade student at Sanford Middle School.
My name is Divya Srinivasan, and I'm an 8th grader at Sanford Middle School. I use technology every day. We all use technology every day. You probably turned on your TV to check the news or logged onto your email this morning. Technology can refer to the set of tools that help us create, use, manage, and exchange information in our daily lives. The impact of technology on humans is tremendous. It helps us adapt to our environment and greatly influences our abilities to communicate. We can now do things we never could before at the click of a mouse and the tap of a button. At school, ePathways allows me to learn about technology. ePathways provides students with the opportunity to take the exams in order to become IC3 and MOS certified. Last year in 7th grade, I got IC3 certified. This means that I have a basic understanding of computer literacy, can understand operating systems, hardware, software, and the different networks. This year, ePathways is helping students get their Microsoft Office Specialist certification, and I'm currently enrolled in a Digital Information Technology class, DIT, to practice my skills before taking the exam. Teaching children about technology and how to use it is extremely important. Students of different backgrounds can really benefit from programs that will help them get good jobs in the future. Our knowledge of technology is greatly increasing, and every day people are coming up with new ideas and innovations that will change the world. In conclusion, learning about technology plays such an important part in our lives. Its positive impact on society has allowed us to greatly progress and reach heights that we never thought were possible.
Very nice, Divya. Thank you.
And finally, we're going to hear from two of our high school seniors. The first is Jason Duquette, who is at Haggerty High School in our Modeling, Simulation, and Analysis program of emphasis.
Right. Hello, this is Jason Duquette, and I'm a senior at Haggerty High School. And Haggerty High School focuses on modeling and simulation with data analysis included. And in the program, we have 4 years of level 1, 2, 3, and 4 classes. Now, the first level year is a basics, learning about 2D modeling and simulation, building up into years 2 and 3, which is more of a design-based class. And in the 4th year of class, which I'm taking right now, it is a more capstone research project, which pulls together all of what I've learned throughout elementary, middle, and 3 years of high school modeling and simulation. This program has really helped me and the other students taking it develop skills used in the real world workforce, but we have learned it in high school, so we have a head start on college and finding a career. Now, also, the ePathways internship program during the summer was also a very good experience for learning real world workplace scenarios and other things about how the real world goes outside of high school and college. I completed that summer internship over the summer of 2016, and it worked very well learning new information and to build on my high school career. Leading into college, the best option for me would be a 2-year, going into a 4-year college to do core classes and then focus on a STEM-based class, something in science, technology, engineering, or mathematics, which all started at Haggerty High School in the 4-year modeling and simulation program, including data analysis. Thank you.
Wonderful, Jason. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. And finally, let me introduce you to Austin Siegert, who is a senior at Lake Mary High School, participating in one of our career and professional education academies.
Hi, my name is Austin Siegert. I'm a Lake Mary High School senior. I've taken all the tech classes at Lake Mary. When I moved here, I started taking drafting, digital design, programming, and digital design just really stuck with me. I'm in the 4th year of it. I've earned 4 certifications throughout these years in Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and Premiere. These certifications help me in class by making stuff for the school like planners, curriculum guides, parking passes, just anything, t-shirts.
Make a few extra of those.
And since I finished all that, Miss Luntz, my teacher, let me do independent study on this 3D modeling program called Blender. And with this program, since I took drafting, I already know the teacher, so I can 3D model and use the 3D printer to print out stuff that interests me. So after high school, I want to be a pilot, and I want to go to the Sanford Trade School and be a private pilot. And with these certifications, I can make business cards, make my own website, brochures, and anything of that sort. Thank you.
Great job, Austin.
Thank you, Austin. Board members, I think the 6 testimonials are better than pages and pages of data showing participation. It's so exciting to hear the different programs and also the connections that are being made. I want to take a moment just to thank the parents of these 6 students, because again, we know it doesn't happen without them. So would you all please stand? I also want to thank Dr. Irwin from Winter Springs, Dr. Saleo from Indian Trails, Mr. Schuler from Sanford for joining us this evening to represent their students. So thank you all for being here. And finally, board members, this work obviously doesn't happen without incredible commitment from our teachers and administrators. And you heard a couple of teachers' names mentioned tonight, and I have the privilege of leading the ePathways department, but so much of this work happens because of the dedication of those individuals at the schools. So certainly they are responsible for the learning that's happening. So thank you all for the time this evening.
Thank you very much. Stay right there. Dr. Weissong, students, I can't tell you how proud we are of each and every one of you. And parents, thank you for sharing these brilliant young minds with us. We take that as a very important responsibility, and I'm sure all of your futures are very bright. And I saw you all there with your phones taking pictures, but we took some too, so I'll give you all business cards where you can go onto the Flickr account and get some photographs of this evening. And then it was also videotaped, so that'll be on our website after the school board meeting, so you can have that forever. So let me give you the cards.
You can take the names if you want.
Great job.
She's just trying to get steps.
Absolutely, I got my steps in.
Thank you. She kills me.
That's great.
Thank you again. Board members, before we vote on the consent agenda, there were 4 items that needed board representation. So I would like to ask Mrs. Almond to represent our board on 4H and I committees, please.
Absolutely, thank you.
And Mr. Bauer, if you could represent the board on 4J committee, please. And I will represent the board on 4L committee. That being said, Dr. Griffin, do you have a recommendation?
Yes, I do, that the consent agenda be approved as presented.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Dr. Griffin, we don't have any items removed for separate consideration or disciplinary hearings. Is there any public comment at this point in time? Not too much public left, but moving on to unfinished business or new business or superintendent's report.
There's only the school board calendar as the superintendent's report.
Great, and moving on to board member comments. Member Bauer, do you have any comments to share this evening? We might have lost the connection. Vice Chairman Lockhart.
Can you hear me?
Oh yes, Mr. Bauer, we hear you now.
I'm sorry. I feel like I've got a bad cell phone connection. I just wanted once again to thank everybody. I've had probably the toughest 2.5 months of my life, and I'm going through rehabilitation. I intended to be there tonight, but a doctor's appointment went late, and I couldn't make it back. But thank you, everybody. I'd like to thank my colleagues for, picking up the slack and going to meetings that I couldn't go to. And obviously, I can't wait to get back there and play ball.
Well, you keep healing, and we can't wait for you to get back here either. So thank you for the update.
That's it for me.
Thank you. Vice Chairman Lockhart.
Right. Well, we just met last week.
Yeah.
Right.
We had so here we are. But one thing that I want to bring to everybody's attention is that next week is Constitution Week. The DAR, the Daughters of the American Revolution, the Sally Harrison chapter sponsors Constitution Week in our high schools each year, and so thank you very much to Mr. Gaudreau, who I know has helped coordinate that. I believe Haggerty High School is the high school this year that's going to be participating in that week, and it's really an awesome time. If you all have any interest in learning about Constitution Week, you can go to dar.org under education, and there are all sorts of interesting projects, even for parents who might be homeschooling if they're interested in celebrating Constitution Week along with our students in Seminole County Public Schools. That'd be a great resource.
Great, thanks for sharing. Member Almond.
share?
Yes, ma'am. Lair Elementary had their Giddy Up Rodeo this weekend. It was very well attended, and thank you to Tom Sorrells from Channel 6. He said somebody invited him out, so he came out and hung out with the kids. And we had a great legislative breakfast with our local delegation. Thank you to the foundation for putting that on. The Business Advisory Board went to Goldsboro Elementary. We spent an hour and a half in the STEM lab and the space lab because we could not get the board members out. They were so wowed. They were so impressed. I think I heard more than one time the members say, you know, don't you wish you could go back to school for all that they have to offer? So that was really awesome. And I think next month we're hoping to go to Lake Howell. We'll see how that goes. We're waiting on the pool building, the field house, to be completed.
You could go to the cybersecurity lab. That's very exciting.
We could do that, yes. Seminole Prevention Coalition talked about trauma, childhood trauma. And they showed this little 15-minute TED Med video it was called an ACE study. It was a Dr. Nadine Burke-Harris. She's a pediatrician. And they were tracking the data for kids that had trauma and their propensity to have heart issues and diabetes and different things like that. It was very, very interesting. October 22nd, got drugs. You can drop them off at your police station or sheriff's department, even your pet's prescriptions. So,
Those are prescription medications.
yes, prescription. Oh, I didn't ask about anything else. And the city of Oviedo is going to do a Jenny Simpson Day.
Oh, great.
Our Olympian yet to be confirmed. And the city of Sanford is going to do one for Matt Kuchar, both of our former student Olympians. So we'll keep you up to date on those. And that's my report.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Schaffner.
I attended the CalNO meeting for Mr. Bauer, and it was a great meeting. They had a speaker there to talk about affordable housing in Florida. I had a copy of the PowerPoint made for all of you, and I gave it to Joe Rinaldi as well. But very interesting, some of the things that they're doing. They have a project going now in the Wynwood area that is going to be eventually annexed in by Altamont. But it's affordable housing. It's a very, the pictures are in here. They showed more pictures, but it's on Merritt Street there. It's called The Point at Merritt Street. They are assuming that, and I had this conversation with Mr. Rinaldi, they're assuming that it's going to be housing families that are already living in that area, and they'll just be moving into this as opposed to new families coming in. We'll see how that works. I don't know if it will or not. Lots of other things. That CalNO meeting is very worthwhile. We got a lot of information from the cities, and Lee Constantine was there from the county, so there was a lot of information shared. Also, I went to Lake Brantley last Friday. They have received a security grant that's really it's phenomenal. I think it was for $25,000 from one of the security companies, and they walked us all around the campus to show us where the security cameras have been put up, and they can now have security from long distances that they've never had before. They can focus in on a name tag. They could focus in on a name tag of the person sitting in the back of the room and tell you what it says. They could never do this before. It's always been fuzzy, and of course it was old equipment on top of it. But they were thrilled to have this, and it was written by one of the APs over there, Brian Schaefer. He's in charge of security and facilities over there. He's done a great job. Wouldn't you agree, Rick? Did a great job. And then I think all of us were at the coalition meeting yesterday. And Tina, I'll let you report on that because you talked about the micro-credentialing.
Right, great. Before I get to that, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Seminole High School Business Advisory Board for their Health Academy. The Health Academy continues to grow every year, and this year they're even adding more certifications. So we're really excited about that. When Dr. Weissong shared tonight about being career ready, a lot of these students, even though they might be going on for their medical degrees, at least now they're certified with EKG, and there's, licensed practical nurses, or even to work on an ambulance crew to help pay for their colleges. So I'm really excited about how that program has grown. Also attended the Energy Conservation Committee, and double backed with Mr. Kelly because unfortunately both of our utility companies have increased their rates. So that's going to really affect our budget in that we are the largest consumer, being the largest business in Seminole County for that. So that just to give you all a heads up, it's not that we're wasting electricity. We still are working creatively to lower our electricity cost any way possible, but the rates have gone up. So that's shown reflective. We're also watching our water and sewer, which has gone down percentages each and every year we've been watching it. Also attended the Central Florida Partnership Leadership Forum this quarter in Orlando, and the topic was healthcare. And it was very timely considering everything we've been discussing at our insurance meetings. There was a segment on telemedicine. Somebody dialed in from DC, and we got to see in his eardrum, we got to see in his mouth, up his nose. I mean, it's really amazing the things you can do with telemedicine. I mean, TMI. The crowd was moving. It was TMI, but the point being is that if you don't see it, you don't know it, and then you can't explain it to have other people buy into the product. But I think it will be some good conversations we can continue. All 3 local presidents of the major hospitals presented, and they're looking for partnerships in the community to beta test site some of their new deliveries of medicine. So I think those are some opportunities we might have to partner with hospitals. So I'm glad about that. And Ms. Schaffner, as you said, we were all at the Central Florida School Boards Coalition, and I'm very hopeful for our October 3rd meeting. Seminole County is again leading the way with forming a group to start talking about micro-credentialing. I'm very hopeful that the state of Florida will support this initiative because I think it's the right way to deliver the professional development to our teachers so the teachers can choose what they need, and then we can provide the services that we really need to. We also shared collectively amongst our districts the wellness initiatives and health insurance and on-site clinics and collective bargaining. So I thought it was a very productive meeting, and I'm glad we have that coalition that we can bounce some ideas off of and divide and conquer so we can get more work done in our classroom.
Best practices too. There's no point in reinventing the wheel.
Absolutely. So if we can do that, it's what's right for our teachers, what's right for our students and the community. So team, I know how, excuse me? Yes. Is Ryan Peets here? Okay. Well, anyway, if you could share that we were very impressed with Mr. Peets' presentation, and I think everyone else in the room was too. I had to make sure he didn't give out his business cards to anyone because he's ours. They can't have them. But team, thank you as always for all of your hard work. We know how much it takes to get a board agenda together, but more importantly, what you do every single day for our students and teacher, and your leadership, your vision, and your passion. We thank you. Dr. Griffin, anything else for the good of the order? Anything else, ladies? Seeing none, this meeting stands adjourned. Thank you, everyone.